I don't have to feel guilty about saying no. I can say, you know what? I'd be happy to help you with that Monday, but right now it's Thursday and I'm doing my Thursday things. And if that person cries foul because of that, then that's good learning for me. That's healthy, and life will go on, because emergency makers will make more emergencies in the future. There's plenty more emergencies for that person to have and to hear about. So anyhow, that's the kind of stuff we're doing at kindedge.com. When was the last time you cleaned out everything? I'm talking everything. Did you clear out your closet and consider not putting anything else back in other than that which serves your higher self and your best future self? Did you consider that you might also need to do this with every person in your life? Would you consider clearing out every single name in your phone and on all of your social media follows? Would you consider clearing everybody out and reselecting only those people that align with your higher self and the future self that you plan to be, and that would align with your big goals for change in the future, lifestyle, health, initiatives you want to begin, businesses, people that would support and inspire you? Would you consider cleaning out your closet of people and reselecting? Would you consider cleaning out every environment into which you place yourself? So reselecting the places where you hang out, reselecting the people that you hang out with, reselecting your hobbies and the clubs that you are a part of and the communities that you're a part of. When you go to those places, so what you do at 5 a.m. and what you do at noon and what you do at 3 p.m. and what you do at 6 p.m. and what you do at 9 p.m. and what you do at midnight and what you do at 2 a.m. Would you consider cleaning out all of those elements as to where you place yourself? And would you consider cleaning out what social media channels you follow? And would you consider cleaning out the way that you think and the sources that you use to feed your attitudes and your mindsets? This is conscious curation. It's part of my kindedge.com process for implementing big life changes in small, bite-sized, doable steps. And conscious curation is one of the foundational elements. Kindedge 360, its concept. And conscious curation is a one-time big project to do all of those things I just mentioned, to do a full closet clean out of all people, environments, and objects in your life that own your time, that own your money, that own your responsibilities, that own your attention, and reselecting for the things that fit the future that you seek and the way that you want to live. We know the 5 people rule. There's the traditional 5 people rule, which is you become the same as the 5 people that you hang out with the most. And right now, I think I would be becoming a Labrador Retriever, because I've been up at Florida State after the Florida State shooting. I went to go see my son and I brought my dogs. My dog and I have 5 hours today in the car. And on the drive there, we were in the car 5 hours. If I do this much more, I'll become a Labrador Retriever, but my dog's a pretty good guy, so I'm okay becoming like him. So I'm on this drive, and you know that the 5 people rule is one of those. It's related to the my kindedge.com conscious curation practice. Conscious curation is a one-time project, but then it becomes a lifestyle, a way of living, which is continually choosing in that which fits what you want to become and want to be, and deselecting that which does not fit. Conscious curation is a closet clean out of everything. And so this is just kind of like a teaser, because there's more content on kindedge.com if you go to kindedge.com/subscribe. But the core of it is to give it so much credence and to honor this process, to really physically, you can physically touch the objects and do a little Marie Kondo and look at, oh my gosh, I am dealing with this, wine fridge in my house and it keeps breaking. So it seems like every quarter I have to have someone repair it. Well, that's 2 hours a month. Is that really what you want to do with that 2 hours a month? And then you'll look at other things in your life. You'll say, this car, or the way that my landscaping it has to be handled, or this certain membership that I have, these maintenance things, these things, that objects that grab me, or the old pair of shoes that I remember buying and I felt guilty because I spent too much on them. but I don't like them, or an old gift that was given you by somebody who it's just a reminder that that person doesn't know you well at all and has never really seen you. And you hold on to the gift because you think, oh, that person might come by and ask to see that face or whatever. There's such power in deleting, removing from your world all of these things that don't align with who you are, who you want to be, and the mindset you want to have, and the energy that you need to do all the big hard things. If your big life transformation is becoming a marathoner, starting a charity, starting a business, changing a relationship, becoming single, becoming not single, whatever that change is that you seek, it's going to take all of your energy. And if there's even one object that's calling on your time, calling on your energy, you can't see how much it's owing you and keeping you busy, but less purposeful. Similarly, the people sit down and do a whole good 2-3 weeks of working on consciously curating the people that should be in your life and that deserve your time. And that when you spend time with them, that they uplift you and educate you and sharpen your pencil, per se. And then in kind, looking at the environments that you frequent, the organizations you're part of, your affiliations, the social media groups that you follow, are these being consciously curated to feed your goals? So this is conscious curation. And I'll give you the side part to that, which is in kindedge.com, one of the practices I built for myself after I tried to learn from every book, every guru, every methodology, but I had to build it for myself in a way that it worked today. Because the future promises, the future hope the future faking seems to align with people in your life that want to manipulate you. Because if you're waiting for the future for things to get better, they like that too. Because it just delays change and it delays their need to consider your needs. So waiting for the future is not good. And so I had to build things where it was like, this book isn't just going on my bedstand and collecting dust, or I'm not waiting until maybe this summer to go on that special conference. I need to start implementing things that are implementable today. And so I built these tools myself, and now I'm publishing them because they work. And so I want other people to have them, because I'm driving home from my son who's alive in Florida State at a shooting, but not everybody came out of that alive. And so I know my time is limited and I want to hand these things over, because that to me is legacy. Whatever it is I build, I want to hand it over, because that is all I can hand over if I'm gone. So partner piece to conscious curation is infinite self-Kaizen. So as we make these changes, we never consider that we are locking in, and we are not, for example, starting a new diet and then telling everyone that diet's wrong, this diet's right, join my team, that's a bad team. Politically, diet-wise, lifestyle-wise, whether you work hard in the morning and you're part of the early morning club, whether you get your brain juices going late at night, you do you. And the point of infinite self-Kaizen is you do you, not for forever. You do you as an experiment. And then you simply use your brain to reflect on, I did keto and I've done everything. I've done fat bombs. I've done whatever. I have a thing that's working for me right now. It's a combination of things. And so what I did, I locked into the keto, and the keto, like the basic keto, wasn't working for me. Then I went carnivore after that, but then I was doing certain carnivore fat bombs, and that was crazy to be going to bed late at night with giant fat bombs. But I did it. And I locked into certain things that were keto, and I kept it was insane that I believed something that didn't work for so long. And I kept thinking, I need to do this harder. And I've done that in multiple places, and I'm not the only one, because I've heard it from other people. I must not be good enough at this keto, even though I had a keto meter, I had everything, I measured everything. I must need to try harder on something that didn't work for like 2 years. And then I finally, again, with all the other work I was doing on myself, I'm like, oh, this is just like those other things. Reflect, observe, and concretely observe it in real life with data. Is this working? No matter, I'm a smart girl, I've read all the books, I've watched all the YouTube videos. Is this working for me, for my physiology? And I've done genetic tests, and I know part of the challenge. I've done MTFHR, I've got other issues like health issues that I need to be, I have certain gene alleles, and I need to be nourished in a certain way. And I have certain familial leanings regarding insulin and electrolytes. So I need to do it my way, but a healthy way. And so as I looked at this, I finally said, no matter how many keto books I read, no matter how many keto espousers I follow, I've got to sit down and say, do what works in real life. Run the test, observe the outcomes, and then figure out what to keep and what not to keep, without judgment. It's not that I failed keto. Keto failed me, but I don't even need to judge keto. It's just a fact. And it's just what works for me. Infinite self-Kaizen, no judgment. Observe, run experiments, run tests, see what works, keep that. Observe what doesn't work, throw that out, and move on to the next day's experiments. And you will find patterns through simply you become what you keep. You keep what works and you become that. So if I'm carnivore because carnivore works for me, I'm suddenly carnivore, but I'm not out telling everybody they should be carnivore and that carnivore is the right way. I'm just saying I continue to choose to do it in a flexible mindset because it's what's working today. And I'm not judging anyone else. And I've even modified my carnivore situation, microgreens and so on. So I'm I would be jumping out of the carnivore world because I'm doing microgreens, but I'm doing me. That's it. And so that is what goes with conscious curation. Is when you choose things into your life, you're running experiments. You're not judging. Only a Sith deals in absolutes. You don't need to judge. You don't need to be absolutely anything except for loyal to you and your experiments and welcoming of what you keep and what you don't keep without judgment. Infinite self-Kaizen. So this conscious curation is not an immediate one-time judgment. People can also change. They don't always change, but you can change the way you want to include people in your life. Once you get stronger, it starts to get easier to have people on lots of different circles with lots of different radiuses from your center point. And for example, I need really deep, trustworthy people in certain situations, but I also am such a I'm a heavy thinking person. I cherish many different kinds of friends who just aren't going to sit up all night long pontificating over all these deep philosophies. They're like, let's just go do that at that restaurant or that bar and have fun. And I know because I've studied myself deeply, all my Myers-Briggs profiles, everything. As an INTJ, I need my extroverts to just make me go, boom, we're doing this thing today. And we're not thinking about why we're doing it. We're doing it. And we're going to experiment and see if it's fun. And if it's fun, we'll laugh about it. If it's not fun, we'll go do something else. That's a healthy balance. So there is no time, as I always experiment, there's no time I judge any one person or any one thing. It's just, what is it that I need today? Let's experiment if that's the right part for the right part of my day, and so on and so forth. And so what I wish for you in this one part of this one pixel of kindedge.com. But when you master these things, you feel the change in a few days, not waiting for 2 years for therapy to work. Do the therapy. But you feel the change in 2 or 3 days. You feel a lightness in your shoulders. You kind of laugh at some of the things you tried out and done. Conscious curation tricks I have about people is when I put them on an outer, further distance radius, sometimes to remind myself at the beginning, I'll change the phone label in my phone. And so it's hilarious when like somebody who I know has been manipulative or histrionic or just one of those emergency only people that they only call you when they're having an emergency. When I change the phone label in my phone, it's hilarious because I remind myself this is a person that does that. They call with emergencies only when they need me and blah. And it's hilarious because they're calling with an emergency and trying to manipulate and try to do something, make an excuse or whatever. And my phone it'll say like, beware emergency girl, Susie. And it's just so funny because then I teach myself and then that whole, I don't have to label it after times because it's like it becomes intuitive. Like, oh yeah, this is Susie. She's going to call and she's going to play this game and say, I know it's last minute, but could you run and do this for me? Blah, blah, blah. And it gets more benign because I'm not judging them. I'm just aware that I don't have to feel guilty about saying no. I can say, you know what? I'd be happy to help you with that Monday, but right now it's Thursday and I'm doing my Thursday things. And if that person cries foul because of that, then that's good learning for me. That's healthy and life will go on because emergency makers will make more emergencies in the future. There's plenty more emergencies for that person to have and to hear about. So anyhow, that's the kind of stuff we're doing at kindedge.com, and I wish you the best. And I hope you will at least go to kindedge.com/subscribe to follow updates from my website. And you can follow me on YouTube and subscribe at Kindedge, Kindedge. And I hope you'll join me on this journey of change. It is not going to be easy, but it's going to be fun.